Pi here, and today we are playing Your Dry Delight, which I've been wanting to play for a while, shall we say. I'm not gonna spoil anything, we're just gonna jump right into it. What a lovely night. What do you say we go get a drink? Boss, that's the 5th time you've used that joke today. Well, it's your fault for making such a hilarious face every time. Interesting. My name is August Richer, and I'm a detective. Unfortunately, my parents thought a nice classic name like James or John just wouldn't be good enough for me. Everyone thought it'd be downright hilarious to call me July during my training, so I decided going by Richer would suit me just fine. Interesting. Richer, I'm hungry. Blech. Didn't we just have dinner an hour ago, boss? But my appetite for good food is never sated. Just like my appetite for justice. Oh my. What do you say? Should we go get some cannoli? A fellow in Little Italy makes really fantastic, boss. This is no time for cannoli. We've got a job to do. Oh, Richer, always such a stick in the mud. This fellow right here is my senior partner, Leslie Clark. Unfortunate name. He wears his hair long and has what you might call a girlish face, so he's seen more than his fair share of teasing, too. But somehow, absolutely nothing seems to faze him. Case in point, he's worried about cannoli when we're supposed to be tracking down criminals. I mean, he's got his priorities straight in my book. A true inspiration to us all. Yes! Alright, let's get down to business. To defeat the Huns. Can you tell I'm really looking forward to the Mulan movie? Run through the plan one last time, step by step. You're still new to solo assignment. Why did I struggle on that? So I want to make sure you've got all the details down pat. Or you've just forgotten them because you fell asleep during our last meeting. How's that? Ahem. Don't worry about it. Why is some of the text, highlighted and underlined? I don't know. I clear my throat, straighten my posture, and mentally pull up tonight's agenda. You and I are splitting up to gather information on Cleveland's illegal liquor business and enforce Volstead. What happens if... Oh, this is a learning game. I knew that. I'm heading to the speakeasy on Ness Avenue, and you're meeting with an FBI contact to scope out some warehouses. Leslie nods with his eyes closed, swiveling a little in his chair. Damn it, he'd better not be dozing off again. For tonight, my cover is Jack Vaughn, and I work for the city government. Yes, so you can say your job is helping civilians, and it'll be technically true, because you're terrible at lying. Why'd you get into this line of work again? I heard the agency needed detectives who didn't spend their payroll hours hunting for food. Richer, how cruel! With a theatric gasp, Leslie spins rapidly around in his office chair, like my dry remark just sent him into orbit. I don't know if you guys noticed that little sound effect there. It made me happy. Sometimes I wonder about what bizarre twist of fate landed us together. Hurtful remarks aside, it sounds like you're all prepared. We'll meet back here tomorrow morning to trade reports, drink coffee, eat donuts. Is it my imagination or is he drilling a little? And decide our next plan of action, of course. Understood? Loud and clear, boss. Food is important. Everything else is secondary. I give him a lazy salute before turning towards the door, smoothing out my vest. Richer. Please be careful. Oh, he cares. Watch yourself, stay alert, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Like what? Skipping out on the job to get cannoli? I'm serious, Richer. You're my partner. I don't want you to be turned into Swiss cheese by Tommy Gunn or something. He would use a food metaphor. So promise me you'll be careful, alright? I worry about you whenever you're off solo. I worry about you too. This guy. Doesn't he realize it goes both ways? With a small sigh, I rub the back of my neck with a hand, unsure how to phrase what I want to say. I worry about you too, Leslie. Not like I can help it, since you send yourself on sketchy jobs all the time. It's like you're just looking to be iced. Leslie blinks at me, as if he's never even considered my concern to be a possibility. You're my boss. I care about my boss. He pays me. Really? That's very sweet of you to say, Richer. He sniffles, clutching into his collar. That's the last time I'll be nice to you. Damn it, maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut. I mean, you don't need to get all... But if you're so worried about me, why don't you pick up tomorrow's breakfast? We old geezers do need to sleep in sometimes. Unless there's anything else important, boss, I'm going to head out. Alright. Leslie pushes himself up from his chair, stepping over to get to the door for me. I expect great things from your report tomorrow. With any luck, we'll be well on our way to making Cleveland a boring old town drier than the Sahara Desert. Doesn't sound quite so encouraging when I put it that way, does it? Can't argue there. God bless America, land of the liquor-free. See you in the morning, boss. Give him hell, detected. He reaches out to ruffle my hair fondly, as he often does. I stopped brushing it down a while ago. Leslie always likes to mess it up first thing anyway. Aww. We trade wry smiles, and with that, I head out into the cool night air. Next up, Richard's first speakeasy. Ooh. Password. A gruff voice whispers to me through a slot in the door. The basement of this dingy restaurant echoes with the muffled sounds of swing music, like it's haunted by some ghostly jazz band. Swordfish. There's a long pause. My informant definitely said the password was swordfish. This isn't a setup, is it? If it is, heads will roll by the end of tonight, assuming mine's still... The door swings open before I can finish that thought. Welcome, sir. Please enjoy your night. Thanks, I'm sure I will. I step past the tall, dour doorman and into the loudest place I've ever seen, or heard. Smoke everywhere, deafening music, gaggles of dancers, loitering hopheads. I don't know that one, actually. The term used to refer to drug addict, usually opium. The hop in the world was originally slang for opium. Huh, neat. Flappers posing in their risque skirts, drunk saps trying to impress them. All this laughter and cheer makes you wonder what's so criminal about it all. But I guess it's not my job to ask those kind of questions. After I wander around a little, weaving through the hooch-holding crowd, I end up loitering by the bar. The bartender's staring at me. I raise a brow at him, offering a silent defense. What? Isn't it normal to come to a speakeasy and not order any liquor? No? His face definitely says no. Alright, I'd like to order one of the special. The special comes out of Ed's bathtub, mister. What? Many people bought or they often use their bathtubs in order to water down a homemade fermented alcohol. Sinks were usually too small to fit bottles. The resulting bathtub gin was usually disgusting. Bartenders and speakeasies often masked the taste by making cocktails, which became particularly trendy in the 20s as a result. Huh, neat. The bartender bellows out a laugh when I freeze in horror. Hoo boy, don't worry, adds to the taste. I sure bet it does. Still laughing, he uncorks the bottle and pours me a glass of clear liquor, stuffing a lime slice onto the rim. It's like putting a fancy bow on a pile of horse crap, but I guess I should appreciate the effort. I lift the glass, taking a cautious sip. Spit. I slam my drink all over the man next to me. Hey, what's the big idea, you yuts? Sorry. Jesus, that's bad. What does Ed do in his bathtub? You don't want to know. Actually, I don't want to answer that. Correct. As I hold my glass of God knows what and lean back against the bar, my gaze wanders around the crowded parlor. The informant said this place is a key part of Cleveland's liquor business. Apparently it's owned by mobster types. And now that I think about it, those guys over there look a little rough around the edges. They're not drinking or dancing, just watching the patrons. I casually scoot down the bar, getting close enough to overhear their conversation. It's so loud in here, I can't make out what they're saying, but I managed to catch a few words. Damn Italians, our turf. Them and the cops. Did I hear that right? They aren't part of the Italian mob. I wonder who owns this place then. It must be a different gang. Some kind of deal. That'll work. Risky. I strain my ears as much as I can, sensing the conversation's about to get even more interesting. Just one or two hints, maybe a name. Come on. Only one drink for you tonight, my friend. A low, eloquent voice murmurs right in my ear. The culprit smirks at me when I whip my head around in surprise, offering a little wiggle of his fingers in greeting. Tall, suited, and well-groomed, he has an unusually refined look to him. Is he offering to buy me a drink? Is there any better stuff? I could manage another drink, but not one of whatever this is. I jerk my chin towards the mild rat poison in my glass. You don't like it, really? I've been told that's one of the best drinks here. One or two more and I promise it'll start growing on you. No, really, I like my tongue too much to put it through that. More of Satan's mouthwash. My dry comment makes the stranger chuckle, and he flashes me a wink. Oh, so that's the problem. Well, never fear. I'll take good care of that tongue of yours. What? What's that supposed to mean? Bartender, a fresh drink for the delicate-tongued gentleman. And the usual for myself. He waves at the man behind the counter, who quickly nods. What the hell is going on? Oh, great. I can't actually get drunk, damn it. It's like this guy is here just to ruin my investigation. Yes, that's why he's here. We'll get you fixed up with something that'll tickle your fancy, mister. Trailing off, the stranger raises one eyebrow at me expectantly. Ahem. Jack Vaughn. Jack, Not the name I've picked for you, but I still like it. Really? What's the name you would have picked? Ask me again after you've had a few more drinks. As if on cue, the bartender passes the glass towards me, and gently slides a steaming cup towards my companion. Is that coffee? Thank you, Arthur. Anytime. He throws the man beside me a wily grin. I can't shake the feeling that I'm the butt of some inside joke, but maybe that's my detective's paranoia talking. You don't drink, huh? I wouldn't call myself a teetotaler, but I do like to stay sharp. Right. Well, drinking partner, since you've twisted me into this, who exactly am I toasting with again? My name's Mayor, and I'll endeavor to make sure you won't forget it. What the hell is going on? How the hell am I supposed to read this guy? If I didn't know better, I'd almost think he was trying to... L'chaim? L'chaim is a toast that translates literally as to life in Hebrew. Neat. Exclaiming some sort of toast, he clinks his cup against my glass. L'chaim. I mimic Meyer's pronunciation, and he happily nods in approval. We both sip our drinks. Herc. Not as bad as Ed Deluxe, but still feels like I swallowed a gasoline cocktail. Why the puckered face, Jack? Not smooth enough for that tongue of yours? Mary leans in closer, propping his elbow on the counter and gazing at my face. Well, if he's hell-bent on being all friendly, maybe I can pull some information out of him. I bet he knows something. He's got that kind of smug air. Yes, woe is me and my delicate tongue. Really, where do they get this stuff? Is it all home-brewed? Surely there's a big cellar. Of course. They're the biggest cellar in town, no less. So he does know. I just have to... But more importantly, why don't you tell me a little more about yourself? A lot more. I promise you I won't mind. Alright, play it cool, Richard. I can't rush this or he'll catch on. I'm nobody special, really. I help keep civilians safe, serve the city, and all that. His smirk deepens for some reason. Just another average fella here, here to relax after a hard day's work. Hoping to take the edge off. Are you just gonna sit there at me all night, or what? Well, I don't mean to be rude, but I have a sneaking suspicion that you're lying. Impossible. You can already tell? Was Leslie right? Am I really that bad at this? Why don't you be honest with me, Jack? Be honest with you, I'm not... Mary leans even more, this time snaking an arm around my shoulders and pulling me in close. I swallow, trying to keep a hold of myself as his lips brush against my ear. He can't know. There's no way he knows. You're really a Simcha, aren't you? A Simcha? Confused, I steal a side glance at Mayor, and his eyes glimmer back at me mischievously. A pimp, of course. What? Right? Oh, you can't fool me with that act, Jack. I saw you looking around earlier for any attractive girls, subtle as a train wreck. Lord have mercy. If I have to pretend to be a pimp, I think I'll just run out the door instead. A little laugh spills out of Mayor before he can bite it back. Care to tell me what's so funny? Just teasing. Forgive me, I didn't mean any offense. Nor did I think you'd nearly faint on the spot, but I was quite ready to catch you. Wow, this dude is flirty as hell. Alright, you got me. I was just, horrified that my good name might be ruined. Shook me up. Secretly, of course, I'm mostly only relieved that he didn't actually see through the lie. That was too close for comfort. Oh, naturally. An upstanding civil servant like you is obliged to maintain his saintly reputation, right? Bartender, another round for the gentleman, if you please. Oh boy. And that was how I got pulled into a night of drinking with my new companion. It soon grows clear that Mayer isn't going to let anything important slip. He manages to dodge all of my questions like a pro boxer ducking punches. But I'm too invested to turn back. I know he knows something. He knows I know he knows something, but we're just dancing around the subject. As much as I hate to admit it, it's fun talking to him, so much so that I nearly forget what I came here to do. Oops. The way he gives me all of his attention is, well, flattering in a way. Who's this guy? While we banter back and forth, I notice the sketchy-looking men from earlier throwing glances towards us. Are they looking at me? At Mayer? Just trying to get the bartender's attention? I can't tell, but I've got a feeling we're being watched. If you don't mind, Jack, I have a question for you. An elbow nudges against my side, interrupting my thoughts. A question? Sure, I'm all ears. I turn my head back towards Mayer, only to see him already pressed close to my side. Our cheeks are nearly brushing together. Oh, damn. Personal space. You wouldn't happen to be looking for underground work, would you? My heart skips a beat. He's finally bringing it up? You could say that, more or less. Well, in that case, how about we make a deal? I'll trade you a little business information in exchange for something on your end. He whispers conspiratorially to me, lips curled in an upward, sly, daring smirk. Something, huh? What kind of something are we talking about here? Very important, ask for the details before you agree to a deal. Well, I'm glad you asked. His breath lightly tickles my cheek. For a second, my focus gets a little hazy. All I can see are those sparkling green eyes. Okay. My mind races through all the things he might want from me, things I normally never think of until... Bring me a cassetta cake. What? A cassetta is a traditional cake from Sicily, Italy. It consists of a sponge cake, ricotta cheese, candied fruit, and various types of icing. However, a different type of cassetta gained popularity in Cleveland, Ohio in the early 1920s. The La Puma Spumoni and Bakery began making a version filled with strawberries and custard and covered with whipped cream at the behest of the owner's children who didn't like the original cassetta. This variation became known as the Cleveland cassetta cake, which is still made in Cleveland today. Neat. A cassetta cake, the type from Frank's Bakery on the east side. Almost certainly not kosher, but I won't tell if you don't. I've heard they changed the recipe to something simply amazing, but let's just say I'm not very welcome in that neighborhood. Not exactly what offer I was expecting. A cake. Right. I'll think about it, no promises. Playing coy, are we? Very well. I see how it is. He exhales a small laugh that brushes my skin again, sending a little tingle down the nape of my neck. Please think it over carefully, and if you decide to accept my offer, come back here tomorrow night. How does that sound, Jack? I hesitantly nod. Can this wise guy really be part of some criminal outfit trading information for cakes? I feel like there's more than a cake at stake here. Perfect. It will be plenty worth your while, so keep that in mind. When he finally pulls back, I subconsciously exhale the breath I didn't know I'd been holding. No matter how I look at it, he's acting sweet on me. Of course, it's not like anyone would notice, crowded as this place is. Do you happen to have a favorite kind of drink? He casually throws another question out, catching me off guard. I want to have it ready for you tomorrow night. That's awful nice of you. Well, my favorite drink, I guess that'd be... something sweet. Something sweet to mask how bad it tastes. Mary stares at me in stunned silence. What? What's with that look? A small choke sound from his throat, the kind you make when you're stifling a laugh. He's razzing me again, isn't he? Razzing is a beautiful word. If you don't know what this word means, to razz someone is to heckle or tease them. It comes from a shortened form of raspberry in the sense of a contemptuous sound. I love having glossary pages. You need to use that word, use it on your friends, use it on your family. Everyone will have no idea what you're talking about, and it's beautiful. Use the word. Yes, of course, something sweet. I understand. I'll make sure to take excellent care of both you and your refined palate. You're acting like I've already made up my... You're leaving? Mayor sips the last of his coffee and pushes it away, smoothing his hair back with one hand. I'm afraid so, Jack. I've got some business to attend to, but I do hope I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and tonight's drinks are my treat, a small token of thanks for your delightful company. Interesting. With a last knowing wink, Mayor steps away from the counter and slips into the crowd, mingling with the drunken sea. He left so suddenly. I wonder what business he's attending to. Well, never mind. I guess that concludes tonight's investigation. What a ride. I leave the speakeasy unsure whether Mayor pulled one over on me, or if I actually pulled one over on him. No, it's definitely the former. He's sure something, that Mayor. No one ever swept me into their pace so fast before. I can almost still feel the warmth of his breath on my skin. Just the drink talking. Just the drink. And with that poor attempt to reassure myself, I stuff my hands in my pockets and begin the sobering walk home. Prohibition was a fun time in American history. The gentle chirping of birds outside the window. The laughter of children on their way to school. The blinding sun. Why is our office so goddamn bright? That, my friend, is a hangover. Oh, my head. The things I do for this job, I swear. I sit in my chair, sipping my morning coffee and trying to ignore this horrible hangover. My eyes drift up to the clock. Leslie's even later than normal. So fun fact, guys, if you ever have a hangover, like, the best thing you can do is just hydrate. Drink lots of water. That'll flush your system out. Just, you know, quick, just a free tip that. I hope nothing's wrong. If it doesn't come in soon, maybe I should just leave a note and go nap in my car. Good morning! As if I'd summoned him from the bowels of sunny hell, Leslie suddenly burst into the office. In one hand he's holding a stack of paperwork, in the other... Is that a cake? Fresh from Frank's Bakery. I tell you, those fellows really nailed the whatever it is. Leslie reaches into the paper bag to grab a piece and happily stuffs his face, chewing away with relish. Excuse me. That's the exact same cake Mayor asked for last night, isn't it? Is this some kind of conspiracy? Is every man in Cleveland eating these cakes except me? Join in! Let them eat cake. Oh? Pausing, Leslie leans in to peer at my face, frowning gently. You look a little under the weather, Richard. Your hair's all messy too, and I haven't even gotten my hands on it yet. Appropriate response. Wait, don't tell me. No, you're not hungover, are you? Richard, you naughty boy. Listen, boss, could we just get to our reports? Changing the subject, I see. Absolutely shameless. Leslie, who seems to think my hangover is the funniest thing in the world, chuckles all the way over to his office chair. Yeah, laugh it out of your system while I sit here hoping for a spontaneous eclipse. I'll let you start off then, my little partying partner. What did you find out last night? In between shots, that is. Ahem. Well, from what I heard, it sounds like the Italians aren't running the speakeasy, or even most of the liquor business. If I had to guess, it's either a big street gang or the Jewish mafia. The Jewish mafia? It's true, they've been growing in size around here lately, or so I've heard. What makes you think it's them, though? I heard a couple of fellas talking about the Italian mafia as competition, so it can't be them. After that, the man I drank with, he was Jewish, and I have a pretty strong feeling he's some kind of mobster. Oh, tell me more. Pricking up curiously, Leslie props his chin on his hands and leans forward to gaze at me from across his desk. He's got a bit of whipped cream on the corner of his mouth, but I pretend not to notice. Guy said his name was Mayer, for starters. He was well dressed, a little too confident, and... Should I tell Leslie about the flirting? I mean, he doesn't really need to know, and I'd sort of like to enjoy the memory without being scolded, but... And... Full disclosure. He may have been flirting with me. He what? He raised his voice incredulously, jaw dropping. Well, could have just been that I misread things, but... The nerve! Unacceptable! Leslie pushes out of his chair and begins to pace around the office. I can't tell if he's genuinely angry or just fussing like he normally does. How dare he? Flirting with my junior partner! Really? That's the issue you have with it? Poor small defenseless little Richard at the mercy of some cruel gangster. If only I'd been there. I'm bigger than you, boss. This mayor had better watch out. Mark my boss. He freezes when I call out to him in frustration. Well, when he gives me that innocent, did I do something wrong expression, I can't really stay annoyed, can I? Would you just please sit down so I can finish my report? Oh, you weren't finished? Sorry about that. Sheepishly clearing his throat, Leslie sits back down into his chair and nods for me to continue. Mayor offered me a deal for information. A deal? You're serious? I barely nod, resisting the urge to rub my forehead. Details on the mob in exchange for... This is so ridiculous, I can barely say it out loud. In exchange for a cake. Oh, come on, Richard, tell me what he actually wanted. I know you're trying to get revenge for me teasing you, but I'm being serious, boss. He wanted a cake. Pointing at the paper bag that Leslie's half-eaten breakfast, I put on the straightest face I can manage. It's from the neighborhood around Little Italy, right? Obviously, that's the place owned by the Italian gang, so he can't get too close. But as for why he wants one, I've got no clue, boss. Maybe a kid at home who likes some sweet tooth, forbidden fruit. It reeks of a setup, Richard. Isn't that obvious? Leslie wrinkles his nose. About the reaction I'd expected, and really not an unfair one. I thought about that, believe me. But if it was a setup, why would he invite me back? Wouldn't it have been easier to get rid of me right there? And he could have made his offer sound more serious, too. Anyone with half a brain would be suspicious. That's true, I suppose. I still don't like it, though. Not one bit. He lets out a heavy sigh, sticking a hand into the bag with his cake and tearing off a piece to idly munch on. Well, while you're having the time of your life last night, I was chatting with Mr. FBI. Oh, that's fun. Apparently one of the city's politicians is hosting a big party at a hotel tonight. Thanks to your contact, I've got us passes inside. Because you know what's going to be at the party, my dear Richard? A lot of liquor. A hell of a lot of liquor, probably provided by the main source in Cleveland. Leslie and I exchanged knowing looks. I can already see what he's getting at. So you want to scope it out for information? It's a good bet, and a safe one. Once folks get drunk, there's no telling what kind of juicy information we'll get out of them. If we're lucky, some of it might even be related to our case. I wouldn't count on it. We snicker in our line of work, Both of us have seen our fair share of these ritzy orgies. You think you should come to the party with me tonight? With your smarts and my good looks, we're bound to find something out. Sorry. Too much reading. And if you want my honest opinion. Leslie goes thoughtfully silent for a moment, then for a moment then, and more serious look darkens his brow. I think this rendezvous at the speakeasy at the speak is too risky. Even if Mayor doesn't mean you any harm, any other mob types around there might not feel the same way. But I also don't think you're green enough to walk into a death trap. Gee, thanks, boss. You have 2 brain cells to rub together. When I roll my eyes, Leslie offers me a soft, affectionate smile, the kind he only puts on once in a blue moon. I'm heading to the party either way, but I trust your judgment, Richard. You can decide for yourself where to go tonight. What'll it be? I don't think we both need to be at the party. I can't say I agree with Leslie about the speakeasy deal. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's a key part of this mess. But I think he's right about the hotel party if the gossip flows as freely as the liquor. And believe it or not, I'd like to spend more time on the job with him. Watching Leslie work is quality entertainment in and of itself. Okay, boss, you've won me over. Party it is. Attaboy, Richard. Oh, that wasn't actually a choice. Okay. Leslie spins around in his chair at top speed, apparently thrilled by my reply. Hopefully our supervisor doesn't decide to walk in right now. And at that moment... It's always when you're, like, goofing off and not doing what you're supposed to that your boss, like, just wanders in. I think I'll send someone to the speakeasy anyway, just to scope it out again. That place has gotta be important, somehow. Ignoring the spinning Leslie, I rub my treat thoughtfully and gaze at the ceiling, pondering the situation. If another agent can get some information from that place, maybe we can combine it with tonight's findings to form a better plan. I'll call Earl and tell him to head over there while we're at the party. Well, good thing there's plenty of paperwork to keep us busy for the rest of the day. A whole stack of reports arrived this morning, actually. I was getting worried when you came in so late. I thought I'd have to do it all by myself. Good thing we're a team, right, boss? Boss. I glance over at Leslie, who's gone silent. He's still slowly spinning in his chair, head slumped back. Is he? He's snoring. If I had a dime for every time this happened, I'd be a rich man. But no, all I have is a massive pile of paperwork. As Leslie enjoys his morning nap, I bury myself in the reports, poring over them one by one. That bastard's lucky I have a soft spot for him. Otherwise, I'd tip him out of that damn chair and throw these papers in his face. He always looks so peaceful when he's sleeping, though. Not a care in the world. Innocent as a kitten. That's my dashing senior partner, alright. As evening finally rolls around, I manage to finish up the paperwork. Leslie woke up in time to help me with the last third, and we headed out head out to the party. Let me just take a drink. Our taxi takes us to a lavish hotel, an appropriate place for a fancy gala like tonight's. When we get to the crowded parlor, Leslie and I decide to split up, so I'm left alone with a smattering of chatty guests dressed to the nines. I wander around for a while, trying to keep my distance while attempting to spot anyone of note, but it's too crowded for my strategy to work. I'm going to have to get in the thick of it, aren't I? Working at these events is always a nightmare. Mingle. I pick up some useful tidbits if I get closer to my guests. Get closer to the guests. I can't read anymore, gosh. They sure sound chatty. Wine'll do that to you. Stuffing my hands in my pockets, I casually stroll by a couple standing near the fireplace, tuning into their conversation. Well, 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 if you aren't just the prettiest little doll in a dress. Trying to sweet-talk me. No, I'm just telling the truth. You remind me of the vamp, just a little. Wider, that's all. The vamp. One of the earliest movie sex symbols was the silent movie actress named Deidre Barra. She earned her nickname the Vamp from playing a score of sexually predatory femme fatale roles. Ooh. I see. I'm learning. Oops. Not what I wanted. What? How dare you? Get lost. I'm through with you, you cad. What a charmer. Reminds me of my own lack of a love life. It's tough to find the time, let alone a dame who seems worth chasing. Love's just too hard to worry about, isn't it? Especially since I've already got my hands full with Leslie. God only knows how I could look after somebody else too. Is Leslie a child? I do get a little lonely now and then, but I guess that's just part of the job. Wait, what am I standing around brooding for? Damn it, I don't come here to feel sorry for myself. I can do that at home. Ooh, sad but true. Sighing to myself, I turn around and start scoping out a more promising group to join. Richard! A sing-song voice suddenly calls out my name, floating over the loud chatter of all the guests. A very familiar sing-song voice. Oh no. Boss? Boss, you... Ah, there you are. Whoa! Leslie comes half stumbling towards me, crashing right into my arms. I managed to catch him, considering he's lighter than paperweight, but I can't get him to stay upright. He keeps slumping back onto me, not even attempting to stand straight. Boss, just what the hell are you doing? Shh, not so loud. We're blending in, Richard. Blending in. He's completely smoked, isn't he? Yes. And just for all the people who might not know. I can already guess what happened. Leslie can barely handle a single drink, and the champagne's flowing like the Nile here. Quick, take me to a broom closet. Why? Boss, what are you? Shh! He presses a finger to my lips, glaring at me indignantly. I found some things out, important things. But we need privacy, and somewhere I can put my feet up. I don't know if I should be impressed or concerned that he got drunk so quickly. Well, it's not like I can really drag him home in this state, can I? What am I gonna do with you? Drag him to a bloom closet, obviously. Muttering to myself in disbelief, I helped Leslie down the hall, away from the rest of the party. Luckily, it seems like the hotel staff planned ahead. A number of the doors are unlocked and open. For situations just like this one, no doubt. We end up in a dark room, and I kick the door closed after dragging Leslie inside. A broom closet. You're off your rocker, boss. Deciding to deposit my senior partner on the bed, I move towards it and gently nudge him onto the covers. Maybe you'll just decide to fall asleep. Oi, I said I had important things to tell you. Before I can step away, Leslie grabs my wrist and tugs me down onto the bed. Sit! What, is this some kind of impromptu meeting? Leslie leans back against the pillow and gives me a hazy smirk, nodding. His legs are stretched out across my lap, and he's still got his shoes on. He'll get dirt on the bed sheet at this rate. Oh, taking off my boots? You're too good to me. I don't deserve a partner like you, Richard. I really don't. Someone's gotta take care of you. Why is Rich your mom? True. I don't envy that someone. Our relationship is a running joke between us, but I've never been unhappy with how things are. Leslie takes care of me too, in his own little ways. Buying me food, teaching me French on the weekends, making me stay home, and bringing soup every time I'm sick. Whenever I need him, he's always there. Good boss. Hello, Richard. Anyone home? Leslie snaps his fingers in front of my face, giggling to himself. You've been staring at me for, about 30 seconds. That's because I was thinking about what a big fat hypocrite you are. Hippogriff. Yes. Half bird, half lion. Hypocrite? Me? I might be right about that. I'm wrong about that even. I don't know. Rousing me this morning for being hungover, but here you are, fried off your mind. Well, nobody's perfect. Not even me. He pouts, fluffing up the pillows behind his back and attempting to knit his brow into a serious expression. It doesn't work very well. Heh, I found out who's behind the booze at tonight's party. In fact, it sounds like he's pulling the strings in all of Cleveland. You're serious? Who is it? A fella called Eastman. Biggest name in the whole city's underworld. Mayor Eastman. My breath catches. Does that mean that man from last night was... Nah, it's probably not the same one. Leslie shakes his head as if reading my thoughts. He's tall. Really short hair, likes to wear a long coat, low distinctive laugh. It's him. We stare at each other for several seconds, unsure what to make of this revelation. I can't believe I was actually drinking with a mob boss last night, let alone one who propositioned me for cake. He's a little eccentric, you know. But what surprised me most is... he wasn't a bad guy. How's that? Leslie blinks when I unconsciously mutter my thoughts aloud. Mayor. He wasn't rude or intimidating, and he sure as hell didn't try to throw his weight around like you'd think. I guess I'm just thrown off by how normal he seemed. Like a regular Joe, not somebody in the mafia. Rather than poking fun at me, Leslie gently nods, exhaling quite a quiet sigh. Apparently he's pretty well liked around here. Doesn't usually resort to violence either. They say he's got a golden tongue, and he always manages to work out a deal to make everyone happy. I don't know how much of it's true, but if it is, then the recent fights around Little Italy would make more sense. You mean the crazy reports we've gotten recently? The very same. The Italian gangs are probably trying to regain the turf they've lost. He's right. Half the reports I got today were all about action on the east side of town. Mayor's men must really be putting the pressure on them. Just how much of a foothold does he have in Cleveland? Leslie rolls over on the bed, a glum shadow settling on his normally bright features. I expected him to be cheery about this news, not so grim. What's gotten into him? You know, Richard, sometimes I don't know if we're doing the right thing. His voice drops to a soft, hesitant murmur, the first time I've ever heard him unsure of himself. Boss? You know, helping enforce prohibition. My shock must be obvious, because Leslie lets out a wry laugh. I bet that has to sound rich coming from a drunk sap like me. You probably think I'm nuts, but to tell you the truth, I've never been certain of it all. Is it really the government's job to tell folks what they can and can't drink? Will a dry America really be a better place to live? Seeing folks enjoying themselves and relaxing like tonight makes me think liquor's not just for fun. It's part of our culture, our customs. It's not about getting drunk, it's about the freedom to drink, just like anything else. Freedoms we've fought for since colonists came over in their big stupid boats. He glances away with a self-deprecating, wistful smile. Now that I think about it, he's been a lot less enthusiastic about this job than our previous work. I guess now I know why. Did I ever tell you how much I wanted to be an FBI agent, Richard? Once, I think. Heh. Mom and Dad, they always told me to keep at it. I think they believed in me more than I did. They didn't know why I wanted to hunt the bad guys so badly. The bad guys? He nods solemnly, eyes clouded over with memory. My parents were saints, but some of my friends, they weren't so lucky. A few had mothers or fathers who'd taken to the bottle and, well, the ones who didn't have marks on their bodies had them in their minds. It crushed me, seeing it happen to the people I cared for, being so powerless to stop it. That's why when the Volstead Act rolled out, I was all for it. Surely it'd stop the same thing from happening to other kids. Leslie slowly trails off. Our gazes meet for a long, somber moment. But I guess I'm starting to grow up now. I know people will always find another thing to abuse. And something like liquor, something so core to society, you can't ever really get rid of it. So should we be the ones trying to help take it away? Away from the people who drink for fun, over dinner, to celebrate because they damn well please? The soldiers who lost arms and legs fighting the war but come home to hear they can't even enjoy a shot of bourbon. I just don't know. He lets out another sigh, this one deep and troubled. His eyes shut tight, almost like he's trying to fall asleep again. You're not crazy, boss. Leslie stares at me like I'd just sprouted wings. Well, maybe a little crazy, but for different reasons. And what she said, though, the more I think about it, it's hard for me to argue. I hesitate for a moment. Normally I don't open up much to people, but tonight's proving to be a strange night. And in front of Leslie, I don't feel like I have to hold anything back. My pa, he drank. I guess that's all he had since my ma died having me. Probably why he took off when I was a kid, left me with my grandparents. Richard. Leslie's fingers reached out to brush my sleeve, lightly squeezing the fabric. Hey, don't feel sorry for me. They were good folks, traditional views aside. Grandpa, he was always muttering about how the law is what makes man better than beast. Every single time he read the police reports, he'd say without fail. The law is the highest order to uphold on earth, Grandpa thought, aside from the Bible, that is. So little Richard got that drilled into his head, did he? I nod, smirking faintly. No crime headlines to read in heaven, Grandpa. You must be pretty bored up there. Aww. He wanted me to be a policeman, but luckily detective work was close enough to count. When it comes to prohibition, though, I've always had my own doubts. Maybe the law makes us better than beasts, but the government's not the gospel. I don't know, it doesn't feel right to follow orders just because they're from the top. I joined the agency to help people, not make their lives harder. Anything that goes against that, I just can't put my heart in it, feds or no. By the time the last words leave my mouth, I feel like a complete idiot. Just because Leslie shared his story didn't mean I had to go and babble on. It's like I'm an old church lady or something. You know, Richard, I really admire you. Abrupt music change. Leslie smiles warmly at me when I glance at him in shock. Where'd that come from, I wonder? Unlike most folks, you don't always take things at face value. You stop and think, you feel instead of judging. Maybe you should be the senior partner. Then I'd feel better about relying on you so much. I think you've got it wrong, boss. I'm just a regular old... No, there's nothing regular about you. Not to me, anyway. No, you're a special breed of fantastic. Aw. Compliments. He doesn't normally give me these genuine compliments. How the hell am I supposed to respond to that? I admire you too, boss. What I mean is Oh? Please do tell me more. Well, now I've gone and done it. I can tell he's not gonna let me get away with that one, so I'd better come up with something quick. I guess I really admire... Damn. How adorable you can be sometimes? Sleeping, spinning in your chair, stuffing your face with cake. Christ. Did those words actually just come out of my mouth? What am I doing? I haven't had a single drink tonight, so there's no excuse. None at all. God rest my soul. Oh, so you finally noticed. It's about time. I was preparing drastic measures to get your attention. What the hell? They're not important now, though, since apparently I've won you over after all. He cackles, obviously pleased with himself. What the hell? This is why I shouldn't give compliments. Oi, Richard. Leslie's tone suddenly turned serious again. Almost too serious. Now that we've poured our hearts out to each other, I need to tell you something important. What's that? Well, I'm not just gonna bellow it out. It's a secret. Lean down. He impatiently beckons me closer. Oh no. Curious, I scoot towards the head of the bed, leaning in to listen. Not sure what could possibly be so... A hand grabs the back of my hair and pulls me down. The next thing I know... Oh. Leslie's soft lips are pressed against mine. The boss is... This can't be happening. Did I fall asleep? Leslie holds the kiss for a little longer, fingers tightly curled in my hair. But after a few seconds, he lets go. Well, that's awkward. I quickly pull back, touching a hand to my lips. A mortified look of horror instantly crosses Leslie's face. Yeah, 'cause, y'all could both be killed for that. Legally. I don't think he realized what he was doing either. Richard, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. The booze, I just... He covers his face with his hands, peeking at me through his fingers. It's like he thinks I'm gonna start shouting at him. What, am I that scary? One kiss doesn't hurt anybody, does it? After a moment of hesitation, I lean closer to Leslie, gently pulling his hands away from his face. He's so wide-eyed and embarrassed. I better savor this look, because he doesn't wear it often. Just between you and me, boss. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Richard. Oh. There we go again. This time I'm the one who kisses Leslie, pressing him into the bed. His hands lift back to my hair, fingers grabbing and pulling, a lot rougher than his normal ruffles, that's for sure. I'm not acting out the noises, guys. Nope. Just imagine it in your minds. He lets out a soft whimper when I nip and suckle his bottom lip, playfully tugging at it with my teeth. We share a string of light kisses, but I can't keep myself from teasing my tongue into his mouth, savoring his little mules of delight. I'm in a daze myself. We've always had a close relationship, me and Leslie, but neither of us ever dared to push beyond that unspoken line. But as I cover Leslie's lips with kisses, finally embracing him the way I've always dreamed of doing, I can't deny how satisfying it feels. I care so much for him, more than anything or anyone else. Boss, partner, friend, does it really matter? He's here with me, he wants me, and that's all I can bring myself to care about. My lips pressed together harder, forcing me to steal breaths between Leslie's needy kisses. He's really getting into it. Is that his thyroid? Nope. I swear, he's so unfairly adorable that I can't help myself. I don't know if he was drunk. If I didn't know he was drunk, I don't think I'd be able to keep my hands off him. Yeah, don't put hands on the drunk person. That's bad. Ha. I'm sorry. Finally, I draw back, just enough to suck in some much-needed air. Oxygen! Leslie nuzzles against my ear, murmuring softly against it. I hope I won't forget this in the morning, but if I do, you have my permission to remind me. Yeah, sure. The full extent of what we did suddenly hits me like a frying pan in the face. I pull away more, jerking upright and letting out a cough, turning my head away to one side. Work's gonna be interesting tomorrow, eh? How the hell can we resume our normal business after this? I sure hope he didn't just make the dumbest... I sure hope I didn't just make the dumbest mistake of my life. Maybe we should, leave the hotel and head home. It's getting pretty late, don't you think, boss? I still glance back over at Leslie, unsure how he'll respond. It just slowly rises and falls. The quiet breaths flutter out from his parted lips. Yep. You'd think I would have seen that one coming. With a sigh, I slide off onto the floor, leaning back against the side of the bed. Guess I'll keep vigil and mull things over until Leslie wakes up. Thanks to his... I can't exactly fall asleep right now. This is a lot more than I was expecting when I loaded this up. It said on the tin it was about the Prohibition, so I was all down for that. And then this. Oh boy. Whew. Well, that's where we're gonna call it for today. That was way more than I was expecting. That is way more than I was expecting. So next time we'll jump back in. We'll see where this goes. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry for my voice dying in the middle. I have been recording for entirely too long now. I need more tea in my system, or my voice is going to die entirely. Yeah, thank you guys. Hope to see you again next time.